Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Homestead SMP. And in today's episode we are going to expand on this automation setup behind me, where we are going to start getting into automating lime water, which will allow us to start automating concrete. So let's go ahead and jump right into it and get this done. Okay, so right over here I have a little spot where I have a rock crusher making loose marble rock, and what I'm going to do is send this out to be crushed into flux. Now when you put flux and water into a mixer and basin setup, it actually creates lime water, and lime water is something that we need to churn the aggregate into liquid concrete. So this is just going to get us one step closer to getting the concrete needed for our giant base build, because we're going to need a lot of it and different colors as well. The dye automation will definitely be coming next after this, because we're going to have to set up a couple of things before we do the dye automation, and one of which is we have to put our tree farm back up as well. But for right now, let's focus on getting lime water automated. So in my inventory, I have almost everything that we are going to need. We have the basin, the mixer, we got some fluid tanks to store both water and lime water. We have the packager and bottler that's going to actually send the water into the basin for the basin recipe. And I also have, I'm trying something new, which is the item drains, because belts are extremely expensive for me right now. I don't have the capabilities of making a bunch of these because it requires either leather and steel or like iron, wrought iron, and rubber sheets, and that's just something I don't have situated yet. So instead of the belts, we're actually going to be using item drains. I know it sounds super weird, but I mean, it's kind of interesting. I kind of like the idea. Matter of fact, we could probably get away with removing this one. I'm going to go ahead and take off my helmet here so that we don't go into cardboard box mode when we crouch. Okay, so the wheels are going to sit right here, just like these. And then right here, I'm going to have the setup for the mechanical mixer and basin. And then beyond that, which is probably going to be about right here, I think, is where I'm going to put the tank at. So it's a super small little setup, and it doesn't take a lot of like a very big footprint when you're making this. And of course, the more lime water you want to store, all you have to do is either make the fluid tank longer, like higher, or you could do like I believe it's a 2x2 or even a 3x3, and then you could just have a bigger tank that way. So let's see here. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these down right here. I'm gonna grab a shaft. I'm hoping this works where I don't have to bring in a third gearbox. Oh, actually not yet, because I'm not sure how this rotation is going to happen when I get the wheels up and running. Because what's going to happen is we're going to have the wheels down, and then it's going to be powered off of this gearbox. And I'm hoping that when this goes into this gearbox, it will rotate in the correct orientation. So let me go ahead and I'll pick up these two here, and I'll actually place down the vertical gearboxes. All right, so moment of truth. Okay, so that one is spinning in the right direction. So I'm hoping, and based off of the shaft there in the middle, it looks like it is rotating in the right direction. Perfect, that is exactly what we need. So next, what we need to do is we actually need to put a funnel right here, because without the funnel, the item drains will not push the items into the crushing wheels, unfortunately. So to kind of get around that, we could use these andesite funnels And what's going to happen is the rock is going to roll. It's fun. It's a funny animation. It actually rolls on these item drains, and then it's going to get picked up by the funnel, which then the funnel will push it through the crushing wheel, and then it's going to roll out this way. So now what I need to do is set up a basin, and this basin is also going to get a funnel. And then if I could get up top here and grab casing, and then we will get our mixer down. So the mixer is something we have to figure out how to power. Let's see, is there a good way to power this guy? It doesn't look like there's a super easy way of powering the mixer here without doing some like gearbox situated to send a line up. I mean, I could probably do it off of one of these crushing wheels. It will look super weird, but it would be functional. Because what I can do is I could put a cog here, put a cog there, and then put a shaft and another shaft so that they're in line with each other, and then I could use a belt for that. So let me grab a couple more treated wood so I can make a couple more cogs here. And then also I need a singular belt. I don't need a lot, I just need one because we're not going too far with this. Okay, and then we could go ahead and craft our cogs here. So what I am thinking on how this is going to work is I'll put the cog here. I'm hoping this works. And I put a cog here. Maybe I don't even need a cog here. Hold on. I put a shaft here. And then I could put a shaft. Oh, I can't do it there. Oh, I fell in. Okay. So let me go grab my grave over here. There it is. Yeah. Okay. Let's not do that again. And honestly, that was probably my third time dying to the crushing wheels already. Maybe I should do it on the other side, so I'm not limiting myself. Ow. I'm really bad when it comes to this. Trying not to die. Is that going to interfere? That's also going to interfere. Oh, you know what? I think that's a good enough angle for me to actually... Can I do it right here? Hold on. Let's try this one. I think I could pull this off. Maybe not. That works, I guess. It's not pretty. It's really not pretty, but it keeps us within our footprint. That's fine, I guess. That's totally fine. And it'll still allow us to have access to the side of the basin, because what's going to happen is the bottler is going to go into the basin like so, and I'm going to put a frog port on top. Let's see. Can you reach? Too far away. Really? Oh, is this still too far away? It is. Okay, it looks like I need to set up another chain conveyor. Let's go do that real quick. Grab the chain, grab, not that many. I just need 2. I think we'll be fine. All right. So I'll put one right here so that it has access to this one. And then what I can do is I could actually get rid of this chain real quick and put another one right here. Let's get rid of that. Then let's hook up this guy, and then we could hook up this. Okay, so that gives us a little more coverage. Let me go ahead and take this away and do the same thing over here. I will clean a lot of this up off, in between episodes, just so it looks better. But right now, I'm just trying to set this up for functionality. All right. So we have funnel going into this, funnel going into the basin. Now we could get our frog port, and we could get you, let's see, right here. And then this is going to be lime, water in. And then I'm going to put a factory gauge on. But before I do that, I need to come over here and click on one of these. There we go. To tune it to the network. And then I could go ahead and plop that down. I need a water bucket, which should be simple enough. I could just come right over here, yank it out of this, plop it into here, and put it back. Okay, So for this recipe, it takes 1 flux and 720 millibuckets of water to make 720 millibuckets of lime water. So I want to make this factory fluid gauge to be exactly, let's see. I think we could only do 1 bucket at a time. Oh, I think we could do it right here maybe. It's a 0.720 bucket. No, 720 millibucket. Will this work? It looks like that works, but I want to see this actually work, where it gets the water perfect and it pushes into the basin. That's exactly what we need. If we end up with more water in here, that's perfectly fine. I'm not too worried about that, as long as we get the lime water in there. So now all we really have to do is put a funnel in here, and you can see it rolls. I love that. And you can see here, there's lime water, 720 millibuckets of it. So the next thing we need to do is we need to get some pipes so that we could push that fluid into the buffer tank that I have right next to it. Let's see, do we have... Okay, so we do have these. I'm not sure if they would be good to use. I mean, we could definitely try it. If not, then we're gonna have to get some regular create fluid pipes and a pump and set up that automation. I'm hoping the Gravitas pipes will work for this, and it doesn't look like it does. That's fine. And it looks like we could probably just get away with using a pump. Okay, so now that we have this all set up and we have the arrow pointing into the fluid tank, let's go ahead and get some rotational power onto this so it could start pumping out the fluid. That is not what I told you to do, good cog. I want you there. And there we go. So now this should be working. Okay, so water's not coming just yet. Let me see what happens if I bump this up to a bucket. Is that gonna request one? There it is. Okay, that sent a partial. Like, I see the request in there, and I'm not seeing water come through. Is it because this has too many... Whoa. Hello. It's a blood moon. This is gonna be kind of fun. Said no one ever. Okay. I see a creeper just chilling over there. Oh, lovely. Oh, lovely. Okay. Yep. This is a thing. Okay. Oh, this is horrible. Okay, let me get through the blood moon situation and I'll bring you guys right back. Yeah, there's just a ton of mobs here. So I'll be right back with you guys. Okay, so now that I got away from the blood moon, I think, I'm hoping that's not going to be kind of like a back-to-back, which we've seen that happen where we would get like 2 or 3 nights of blood moon activity. So while I was waiting for that to kind of end, I did change this up because for some reason this wasn't recognizing the internal buffer after the lime water was being created. So I changed it up and I added a tank here, which I'm going to then pipe into the basin. But this holds 8 buckets. So I have this set to 8 buckets. So anytime this drops, this will send out more requests. And it looks like we are, in fact, another night of blood moon. Lovely. Okay. I'm not too worried about that at the moment. As you can see, there's the moon and it is red. So what I need to do now is actually something that I've been needing to get into, which is conduits. Now I could only currently make the bottom tier basic fluid conduits, but they're better than anything at the moment because this will actually help us save space. So basically we need conduit binders and clear glass from Ender.io. So let's go ahead and bookmark this. Let's head inside. Hopefully there's not a lot of mobs in here. Okay. So far looking good. And let's see if we have the stuff that it takes to make this. So conduit binder is conduit binder composite, which is funny because this is gravel, sand, and clay balls, which surprisingly we have all of those. So making this is super simple. Next is going to be that clear glass, this stuff, which is the alloy smelter with glass and flux, which again, we have that. We could actually make 27 right now for what's in our actual storages down here. And that's more than enough for right now. So let me make this composite. Let's see, I'm missing sand. Let's see, sand. We got red sand. We could use that. For some reason, it didn't pull the sand out. Not sure why. Interesting. So the sand is getting stuck out here. I'm not sure why it's getting stuck out here. There we go. What is that, like a watering hole? Jeez. Spider over there on the bridge was jumping for joy. Okay. So we should have everything we need to make this stuff now. So let me go ahead and make a bunch of that. Okay, and we got the flux here. So I need the alloy smelter. And then I need to sleep to get through the night. Okay. So the only things that we have left are the creepers and the spiders. Everything else should be burning up, which is good. So that should be clearing up here soon. Okay. So we have the alloy smelter, so we can come back out here. And I am going to try and place this. I'll place it right here. This will give me access quite easily. And then we could just throw this stuff in here, let it go. And then we could throw this stuff in here and let that go. So I'm wondering why my sand was getting stuck there. It has a way in. Oh, that's why. No, it's connected to that. That shouldn't be the issue, but just on the off chance that it is, let me go ahead and place this chain down. And let me see if I could request some more sand real quick. Okay, so I don't see it stuck, which is good. And we have it. Nice. Okay. So that resolved that issue. Go ahead and get rid of this. Okay. So how are we looking over here? I just need 3 of those. Okay, I got enough to make... I forgot how many I get. Let me see. I get 8 of them off of a single craft. So that's perfect because we don't need too much. We're only going from this tank to the basin, and that's just 1. Okay, so extract, we're going to set that to active. Then over here, we're going to uncheck the extract and check the insert. And then that should start. Yep, there it goes. Perfect. And honestly, what I can do as well is remove this pump and cogwheels and just add in another conduit. And then again, this is going to be always. And then this will be insert only. Perfect. Okay, so that made things a lot easier having these fluid conduits. Now, unfortunately, I can't make the item conduits just yet because that actually requires us to get into, I believe it was HV. So if we look at the item conduits, it requires this pulsating alloy nugget, which is the pulsating alloy ingot, which you could make that in the alloy smelter with vibrant alloy and energetic alloy, but it requires MV. And in order to make the vibrant alloy, you need to put the energetic alloy and an ender pearl through, which again is MV, as you can see down here. And then to make the energetic alloy, that is actually a block of redstone and gold. I kind of want to try that recipe real quick just to see, am I really blocked behind that? So let me grab some redstone real quick. Actually, I have some in my backpack. Let me turn this into a block. Okay, I can't do it that way. So how do I make a block of redstone? In the compressor. Fair enough. I have a compressor. Just making sure it's not here. Okay. So let me see if I could actually pull this off. And then I'm going to need a gold ingot. I'm like running out of space for all the... I'm just going to not put it right there. I'm just gonna put it right here and then connect this up back here real quick. And then vent out the top. And then we're gonna put in 9 redstone, and that's gonna start crafting into a block of redstone. If I could actually do this process without actually going into MV, that's going to be a game changer as well. Because having item conduits is massive. And the easiest way to do it is using nuclear craft, as it takes 1 iron ingot and 1 ender pearl to make the pulsating alloy. So if we look at the pulsating alloy ingot, you can see here the alloy smelter from nuclear craft, and that just takes 1 purified ingot and an ender pearl. And then this chops down into 9 nuggets, which for the nuggets, you can make 8 of these for just 3 of those nuggets. So that means you get 24 conduit off of a single ingot. That's massive. Okay, so moment of truth. I'll go ahead and pull these out. I'll let this craft finish. And look at that, we already have 32 millibuckets of lime water. That's crazy. That is awesome. Okay. Yeah, recipe failed. So I can't make, I can't use steam to make this. So it has to be MV tiered. So it's unfortunate, but it's okay. At least we have access to the fluid conduits, because that is something we definitely need later in this entire process. We have to put items into a barrel on top of liquid, and the only way to do that is the input is at the top and the output is on the bottom. You cannot put in through the sides at all, which is crazy. So now that we have lime water and aggregate set up, the only thing that we need to do now is just set up the automation of putting lime water into a barrel and dropping aggregate into it. And that's a whole nother setup. And we could actually probably do it about right here. Because what we need to do is we need to get the lime water into a barrel and then have a packager set up to send 32 aggregate at a time into a smart chute, which then drops into the barrel. That will convert the lime water into concrete liquid, or liquid concrete, which then we could store into a tank to then be pushed into another lineup of barrels to solidify. So every 25 millibuckets of liquid concrete makes 1 single concrete block. Once we have those blocks, all we have to do is set up our dye automation, our liquid dye automation, and we're able to basically make our dyed concrete by throwing the liquid dye and the concrete blocks into a basin and mixer, and that will be it. And it looks like, again, oh no, my merchant. I don't think I'm gonna make it in time. Whew. Got down to half health. He's pretty tankish. Like he was tanking some hits. So that was night 3 of the blood moon, which is kind of crazy. But I mean, like I said, like that's been kind of average lately, is 2 to 3 nights of the blood moon, and then it goes away for a while. I'm just glad this doesn't happen very often, because man, it's a lot of mobs. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut away here. I'm gonna set up the liquid concrete automation real quick, and then I'll run it through you guys once I have it fully set up, so that you guys could see exactly what I'm trying to do, and hopefully explain it a lot better than what I have done already. So anyways, I will be right back with you guys. Just give me a moment. All right, and I am back here. So as you can see, I finally have it set up, and we are making liquid concrete. Slowly, but we're making it. And honestly, this is probably the best way of doing it, So let me walk you through exactly what is going on and why we have it set up like this. Okay, so of course, here's the lime water that we just built. We have this being extracted out and inputting into this barrel at a slow rate because these conduits are extremely slow. They're a 50 millibucket per tick transfer rate, which is perfectly fine. We don't need this to be crazy fast for right now. But once we get into the higher tiers of Gravitas and stuff like that, like MV, HV, stuff like that, we'll be able to unlock the higher tier fluid conduits. Now, we have a horizontal barrel. Let's go ahead and put that back in. We have a horizontal barrel that is open so that it could drip out the lime water into this vertical barrel. Now, the way this is being detected is with this bottler. Let me go ahead and swing back around without killing myself. So the way I have this set up is I have this on its own system just for it to be able to read the contents of the barrel. So we have a factory fluid gauge right here on the ground, and we have a stock link on the side. The factory fluid gauge is connected to this stock link, which is not connected to our system at all whatsoever. This is on its own system, these two items. Now, inside of this, I have it set to 1 bucket because anything more than 1,000 millibuckets in this barrel, it will stop working. It will break. So we just capped it off at 1 bucket. But what this is doing is it's giving it a redstone signal because I added a new connection, which you can see by this little 2 pixels right here. It's going into this redstone link, which I have then set up on the wrong side, which I have set up right here. So this, once this triggers, it will send this redstone link a signal, which will then seal this barrel, and it will stop the flow of lime water, because that means that this is either one out of aggregate and it's already hit the 1 bucket threshold that we set, or there's concrete in here, so it can't put any lime water in because this is filled up. Okay, so that's how we're controlling the fluid, so that this is sort of part of the whole automation process. We set it and we forget it. It takes care of itself. Then we have a smart observer with a filter of aggregate on it pointing into this barrel. We also have another redstone link that is tied to this smart chute right up here. So we have a smart chute right above the barrel with a packager. As you can see, it just took because it just dropped a new batch of aggregate. But what happens is we have a factory gauge set up that is connected to our system because the aggregate's actually in our system. And we limited this to 32 per request. So what happens is once, as you can see, it just took the package, but it didn't send it down. That's because, one, the smart chute is turned off because it's receiving a signal from this redstone link, because this observer is turned on because there's still aggregate in here. Once it gets through this 18 aggregate, it will turn off, it will pulse the cycle, and it will drop what's already waiting in the frog port. And then the reason why it's a chute is because when you drop items into an open barrel from the top, it will actually go into its inventory slot. So as long as we have lime water and aggregate coming in at a constant rate, we will slowly but surely fill up with liquid concrete. And then of course, seeing that the output is only out the bottom, we have the fluid conduit extracting out the bottom and then inputting into this tank. So this is like a proper automation. Even though it looks convoluted and complex, and there's so much going on in just a small couple of spaces, it works. And it works probably better than anything that I could possibly think of. And I want to say major shout out to Lansy for helping me figure this one out. If you didn't catch my live stream this past weekend. Definitely go check it out because I did cover this in the live stream. Me and Lansy and a couple others were trying to figure out the best way to automate this process. And this is by far, one, compact, and two, self-sustaining. Meaning, even though this gets filled up, it will no longer keep dropping items. It will no longer keep filling up with lime water. It will just stop whenever it's full. And that's the beautiful thing about this. So we got a lot done today. I mean, we automated lime water, which then we also automated concrete fluid. So we have 2 more things that we need to set up, and that's going to be the dye automation and then also the liquid concrete to concrete block automation. Now, I already have that figured out. However, I need to gather more resources so that I could build out the rest, because I am running low on a lot of the things that require a lot of this stuff to be crafted. So like the redstone links, the chutes, the tanks, like all these things, I need to gather more resources so that I could make more of them, especially these bottlers and packagers and the frog ports, because if I run out of those, then the automation will be on standstill, and I don't want that to happen. So we're slowly but surely getting there to the point where we're getting our resources made so that we could start this build. And I am super excited because once we get that dye, the liquid dye and the concrete, that's basically all we really need to begin the process of building out this base. And then once I do have the concrete, I will start going over a proper layout of how this is going to look and where things are going to go. So definitely stay tuned for that, because that's going to be, you know, that it's going to be a couple of episodes for sure of this build, because this is going to be a massive build and I'm super excited about it. Anyways, that's going to be it for today's episode. I do apologize for it being super short, but you know, this is a process. Getting everything set up to where we don't have to do it by hand, because we need a lot of it. We need a ton of this stuff. So setting up these automations, bringing you guys along, and you know, maybe showing you guys a few things or two, that is something that I enjoy doing, and especially I enjoy hearing from you guys. So if you guys know how Gravitas² and TFC works, along with, you know, create, definitely leave a comment down below. Maybe you guys know a better way of setting this up that I have access to. You know, I would love to hear it. Anyways, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me in today's episode. If you liked it, don't forget to smash the like button. And if you haven't already, think about subscribing, tapping on the notification bell for future episodes and streams. And I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.